Oh, I forgot to hit the promo. See, I'm so far behind. Buy the dip on Cooper Kupp, run it back, Tom Brady doubles, thank me on Sunday. 50K in your pocket. Easy fucking game. And don't listen to anything else that these guys are going to tell you. They're going to tell you I'm crazy. I'm not. What's up, gentlemen? Am I crazy?
Are we even gonna have like enough non-swapped players to field a team with how many trades are going down today?
Yo, it's wild, man. It's about damn time the NFL got crazy like this.
Been waiting for it.
It's like basically the Shanahan tree's been trading with each other, and that's bad.
Yeah. All the buddies just got together and they just got like a text chain. They just got a Discord with like the three of them, and they're just like shuffling players around.
Yeah, this is crazy. We're probably gonna get like a couple more too while we stream, which is
I hope
fun.
so. That'll make it.
When Kareem Hunt, get him out of there, dude. If this trade deadline goes by and we have still Dearness Johnson buried behind those two, I mean, it's just poetic at that point. Like, oh man, but yeah, that's the news I'm waiting for is Kareem Hunt. Like, just free him and get Dearness Johnson some opportunities, please.
Yeah.
Is this Calvin Ridley trade official?
Yeah.
So what did he go for?
It's like conditional.
Okay.
It can be worth a maximum of a 2023 fifth round and a 2024 second rounder.
Yeah, late start. We're on Mark's timeline today.
And if they sign him to a long-term deal, then Jacksonville gets a second round pick.
Wait, from Jacksonville's perspective, like, why the fuck not?
If Jacksonville signs him to a long-term deal, Jacksonville gets a second?
No, sorry, they give up a second. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, that's the most no-brainer trade in the history of trades. That's what's happening. No, you're good. That was like me trying to read.
Dude, Rap gets these goddamn tweets out so fast, and it's like, dude, like the readability on these is trash. Like, I'm out here like trying to.
You saw me. I was out here calling him garbage, and you're like, dude, he said they traded that. I'm like, well, when you read it at first, it looks like it's T.J. Hawkinson for 4 picks, not the other way. But yeah,
right,
Mark, what's been the biggest bombshell for you so far?
I think the only one that should be considered like relatively unexpected was the Hawk to the Vikings, man. That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, tad bit.
Yeah, we all kind of figured like Miami was probably going to be a player in the running back market. We all kind of figured that Chicago would be active. But yeah, like
the Chicago the Claypool one was weird for me. I don't know. I thought they'd be active. I didn't think they would go that route. Like, I didn't
It makes a lot of sense, dude. Ryan Poles is basically running laps around every other GM in the league right now. He's building this team up for next season. He's like, we know we're not going to do shit this year. Like, we suck, but they've progressively like expanded their offensive play calling. They progressively like brought in players to help with Justin Fields up front. They're getting rid of these bulky contracts on the defensive end. You know, they dealt like an outside linebacker. Like these are the players that you can move based on today's NFL game, because like their impact is so like just so lesser than it has been in, you know, even 5-10 years ago.
And they weren't gonna sign Roquan Smith, right? Like
he wanted out.
Like
he's like, I'll play another year, but I want the frick out of here.
Yeah, because I mean, he didn't do anything in the preseason, and he was just kind of on the sideline while trade rumors kind of whirled around him. So I think that one was like, you know, better late than never kind of deal.
I think, Ryan Poles is just like maximizing what he has and going to just basically try and set this team up for next year.
I mean, they're going to have just a ton of picks plus like $100 million cap. Like it's going to be.
Wilson just got traded.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson.
That's late news, bud. Come on now.
Yeah, in today's deadline, that's like that's like 2 days
so
ago.
10 minutes
hey,
ago.
forgive me for setting up the show. Come on, man.
Clicking a few buttons and, you know.
Come on, clicking a few buttons.
McDaniels is getting the band back together with the pretty much reassembling the entire Niners.
Is this actually true? Chase Claypool is a year younger than Velus Jones? Is that a joke?
No, Claypool's like really Claypool was really
that
might
seems
be a truth. Yeah,
I think
that's
really
so funny.
He's
that's so
6
funny.
years younger than Amari Cooper. That's pretty true. Amari Cooper is 6 years younger than him.
And
you fucking butchered it, Mark.
Claypool and Komet reunite from their Notre Dame days too. So, you know, just all sorts of fun happening around here.
All right. Well, you guys keep me. I don't like to look and read other stuff while we're talking. I could keep it on the rails out here. So let's fill me in as we go kind of deal. My brain's all over the place right now. Scatterbrain right now. First things first, anybody been in the contest streets yet? Got some drafts under their belt? I think I've done 20 of them now. Where you guys out right now?
I think I'm at 3 right now. Okay. And it's felt really, really difficult, I will say, or 5. I'm at 5 right now. And I find myself taking like a lot of the same like core pieces, like a lot of DJ Moore, a lot of Tyreek Hill early, and I like Gerald Everett this week. I've been getting a lot of him, and then who's my other one that I've been getting a lot of? Ramondre Stevenson being late too, catching my eye. But those have been like the picks that I've gravitated towards as far as like each like of their like respective rounds. But QB for me is like probably like the biggest question mark as far as like what to do at that position if you're not getting Josh Allen. How many are you guys at?
I'm at 4.
Okay.
I was drafting none. Yeah, I've only done a couple. All this morning.
Yeah, so far.
I'm at I'm at like 20 something. I'm just gonna pull up ADP because it's like it's way easier to talk through when I do like the screen share and stuff like that, and give Mark a better sense of what's going down right now. But I have found, and this is just kind of like my knee-jerk reaction to this week in general, is we have another week here where quarterback looks quote-unquote flat again. Tight end looks flat and kind of being punted by the field. And what's ended up happening is everyone is gravitating towards back stacks. So if you don't take Allen early, everyone is just kind of back stacking their quarterback. Right, wrong, whatever. We can talk about the theory for days about it, but just that's the trend I've been realizing. And I don't know if that sets up any leverage for us or if that sets up opportunity to be different with not stacking or stacking in different regards than the field. I don't know what that presents for us opportunity wise, but it's just been my overall understanding of the slate so far.
Yeah, I mean, look at the slate. We have 3 of the top quarterbacks are off of it. You have Jalen Hurts who's playing on Thursday. You have Patrick Mahomes playing Sunday Night Football. You have Lamar Jackson playing on Monday. With those latter 2 teams, you obviously have the top 2 tight ends that are off the board in Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. So, yeah, I mean, it's a similar like overall macro state of the slate as last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really sharp point to bring up. It's interesting. The funniest thing for me right now is with the absence. Yeah, there you go. Of those top tight ends is Kyle Pitts, and how we flip so hard on a narrative week to week in this league. It is incredible. Like he goes from dust, not drafted last week. We can't get on this guy, to being low owned. And dog, it's okay. Tucker, it's fine. Did you hear that? Like that's a
I know
bar.
He was pretty upset. Pitts all of a sudden number 1 tight end. Yeah, he's just like, yo.
What you talk about? Kyle shits on this show.
He's frustrated.
Yeah, he is not having it.
But it's funny just to see how reactionary we are. That is Pitts our tight end 1 this week? Now all of a sudden, like it's wild. So I think my eyes have been gravitating towards him still, but it just makes me feel so fucking dumb for not just being all in on him last week, right? Because like, how do we get ahead of this market where now we're all playing reactionary catch up, right?
Yeah, but the thing is it's not necessarily so much as like just like a random tight end popping off, right? Like this is Kyle like freaking Pitts. It's Kyle freaking Pitts, and we have dealt with Arthur Smith's like dumbassery for so long here, and now we finally get like some pass attempts to Pitts, and it's like, oh my god, like who would have thought? Like 80 in a score,
right?
Genius idea. And now going against the Chargers, who like I'm not afraid of defensively at all. And given the rest of the slate, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And, it's a shame that the blow up week happened like a week before, because he could probably score twice in this matchup. And like, you could have really capitalized on a depressed draft capital, but now he's up a little bit. And I think he's going to rise even higher as the week goes on.
Yeah, I think that'll happen once people see ETR's rankings. They have Kyle Pitts as their tight end 1 and thrust up to like 8 overall or something like that. So we'll see if that moves markets in any regard. But that being said, they always have tight end thrust up pretty high just to kind of show the distinct tier gap. Like they did the same thing with Kittle last week, where Kittle was like an 8th overall. Like you don't have to take him there, obviously, but they had him thrust up like that just for like the understanding of the slate, I guess.
Yeah, I can understand prioritizing him. Like Blake was saying yesterday on the show, how he's like a VORP drafter, which is a value over replacement player drafter, especially when you look at the tight end slate. The ceiling is hard to touch based on his peers this week. So, and now you lose Hawkinson as another potential option. You're going to have to really think about how you want to attack tight end if it's not going to be Kyle Pitts as your priority. And for me, I've got him twice. And like I said, I liked Everett this week too, but there's others.
Good reminder to everyone that Hawkinson will swap.
Right.
Just FYI, if you've already done your drafts and stuff like that, Hawkinson has an out tag now, but he will be swapped. So make sure you do set those personal rankings.
Good point to touch on. And same with, I don't know how many other players right now that are on the slate have been traded, but there's probably going to be a couple more. So just
sure.
be aware that either hold off or just know you're going to have some swaps if you are taking a guy in the hot seat.
Yeah. Interesting to note that just like, we're getting this stars and scrubs kind of alignment with Allen again too, where it's just like, if you get the 101 in order to get Josh Allen exposure this week, I think you might have to take him, but it also opens the door to get very exploitative and just be like, I'm full fading Allen this week. So I don't know where we're going to end up landing on that. I've seen a couple Josh Allen plus Diggs pairings already.
Yeah.
And that scares the shit out of me. But that being said, I don't think it should deter us from taking Josh Allen. We've talked about this before, but I think I'm coming out on the side of the fence of Josh Allen is probably not going to be my personal 101 this week. Any kind of thoughts on that, Numi, Mark?
I'm curious, Mark, like what you think about that, just because Jets are like an interesting matchup, and it does offer you some like interesting leverage to mix up some like who I think there's some like really interesting skill position guys that I think can blow up if you want to do that.
I think you have to answer that question individually. And I think it comes down to risk tolerance and versus like the discussion of risk versus leverage generation. So like Josh Allen is very clearly the top quarterback in the league, let alone this slate. We just talked about the fact that like this slate, there are 3 of the top 4 NFL or I guess fantasy quarterbacks that are off the slate. So the leverage potential by just saying like, hey, this is a difficult, like on paper matchup in the secondary. This is a team that's favored by almost 2 full touchdowns. Like, will the other side of that, I guess, thought process is we've seen the Bills consistently. They are one of maybe 3 teams in the NFL that they want to score on every possession. Look at the end of the half last week against the Packers, where Josh Allen gets the ball back with like 52 seconds left, and he's like walking off the field bummed that they settled for a field goal. It's like, like that is the team that they have. They want to like push the envelope. They want to get better with every snap. It's similar to like how we've been talking about Tom Brady over the last 5 years, where everyone's like, oh, well, how is this guy still like elite? Well, it's because every single time he touches the ball, he wants to run the best play that they can run in that instant. So like there's not that many teams in the NFL that are like that. And so he can put the spread almost doesn't matter with a guy like Josh Allen and on the Buffalo Bills. Like he could run up and score 42 points for the Bills, and like 5 or 6 of those are going to be from Josh Allen just because he's such a like massive part of what they do offensively. So there's goods and others. I think it just comes down to like what you want to accomplish this week. If you make the decision, the concerted effort to say like, I'm going to build in leverage by eliminating Josh Allen from my player pool this week, I have no issue with that, because at this point on this slate, it is literally like the quarterback position is, will Josh Allen put the slate out of reach, or will he not put the slate out of reach? There's like, the fact that those other 3 guys are like not on this slate is a big decision point, I think, that goes into our decision-making matrix.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But I do fully agree that it is probably the biggest decision point on the slate for me, because if you eliminate him from your player pool, you could just bury yourself, and it's a very hyper exploitative strategy to do so. But I do think it could be viable. I don't know. I don't know where I come out on it yet. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, because for me, when I see such a discrepancy between 101 and like ADP of like 16 for the next quarterback, it just opens the door for so many build possibilities by not taking him. I don't know. Numi, where are you coming out on Allen so far?
I'm going to say that was my first thought when I opened up the slate and did my first draft and was tasked with a 101 Allen. And I'm just like, what do I do? And my first thought was, I mean, I just looked at I knew what the slate coming in, saw the other options, and it was the same thing that Mark just said. Like it's basically, will he put the slate out of reach or not? And I've had 101 3 times out of the 4, and I only took it once. So, and that was the first
interesting
draft. So
okay,
I think I'm gonna be on train, fade him, and I'm gonna be on team. And it's not. Is it right? Is it smart? Probably not. He's Josh Allen, but I'm just playing like we just talked about. I'm just playing literally like I'm leaning into it. I like to play hyper exploitive, so that's just the way I kind of like to play anyway. So if Josh, say any of those are they just a couple of rushing touchdowns, a defensive touchdowns, anything where it's just he doesn't fully go out there and put up 4 total touchdowns, the 300 yards, puts it out of reach, then all those other quarterbacks are viable, and then you have all the other well, you have all the Justin Jefferson chairs that you took over him, ready to come and outscore him. So, but yeah.
The other thing you have to be cognizant of, I think, if you're like trying to exploit that field tendency for this week, is like what are you able to build by bypassing Josh Allen there? So like, you're basically saying that one of the wide receivers here in the end of the first, right? So like probably the Justin Jefferson through Cooper Kupp range, like one of those guys is like the overall wide receiver one. And then you can get unique combinations through that. So you don't do anything if you like take one of those guys and then still bring it back with like Devontae Adams or Josh Jacobs, because that would have been a natural pairing at that point anyway.
Good point.
That makes sense?
Yep. Yeah. So if you are going to get exploitative, you have to lean in fully to that exploitative nature and get super unique with the combinations, or else you're just doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
I think that brings in some of the stuff I kind of wanted to touch on today on like a macro level. Before we go, I think we kind of did this in reverse order. I wanted to talk some macro stuff up the top, but we kind of just dove into football guy shit because it's exciting that we're at the trade deadline and it's exciting to just, jump right into the draft rooms and like stuff like that. But I did want to touch on like some overarching things. We saw some of the contests change this week. We saw the goal line stand basically get cut in half because of some overlay in the past and this sort of thing. The DeBomb cut out about 50 entries, something like that. But then the Battle Royale stayed the exact same with the exact same payout structure. And I want to get Mark's thoughts on this. Nez was bringing it up in the chat between us, suggesting that flatter payout structures are better for the longevity of the site. And what we're seeing right now, in my opinion, is we've reached week 9 of the NFL season, and a bunch of recreational players and a bunch of kind of like fair weather players who are just, grinding their season long leagues with their buddies and stuff like that. They've ran out of money from their initial 200, 300, whatever it was, dollar deposit. And what I want to think about is the site and all the contests they offer on the site works as an ecosystem, right? It works as an ecosystem where money has to circulate constantly. And by having such top heavy prize pools, having 20% to first place with this $50,000. I know you want to sell it to the recreational players. You want to sell it to the world as $50,000 up top, blah, blah, blah. But then the discrepancy being less than half of that for second place, right? And the problem with this is every single week that someone wins a contest or wins, even top 5 style money, they withdraw from the site because there's nothing else to play. I'm a volume player. I'm a player who would play some form of high stakes on the site. I would, if there was, $500 head-to-heads, I would be sitting in those lobbies, that sort of thing, right? I came third place in this contest. I withdrew money because there's nothing else to spend that money on. I'm not going to dump $20,000 in pick'em slips or something of this magnitude, right? Like this is not plus EV. It's not how I'm going to play my money or my site, right? So I think I just want to get your guys' overarching thoughts on how do we sustain this, because it hurts my heart to see the goal line stand get cut in half. It hurts my heart to see, money being taken out of the bond pool and entries being limited in other facets. Like, how can we keep this ecosystem sustainable going forward?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to the sustainability question, but one thing that I do think I could foresee happening is if these fill fast, if these end up filling like pretty quickly, or it looks like they're going to fill like hours before lock, then we could potentially see, like we saw a few weeks ago, where there was those 2 entry max, 3 entry max, like mini tournaments for people to enter, if the demand is there for it. I would like to see a flatter payout for the Battle Royale personally. I think if you cut like these, like I sent a proposal just playing around with some of the figures, but like just messing with like the top 100 and making like getting like a top 100 finish like more rewarding, I think is like one way to potentially do that. But you know, I know that they've obviously done this work on their end, and they probably have a pretty good understanding of what having a extremely top heavy tournament does for their players and what it does for like their deposit rate. And I know that that's obviously like their business. That's what they need to focus on. But I do think that like, if it was to be experimented with, like, I think it would be pretty well received, but you guys have like more experience behind the scenes in that realm, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a delicate balance, right? So like, because the fact that like in season or weekly best ball contests are so new, like this is kind of like, think back to what has been proven to be successful in the past. And it doesn't have to be just like best ball. Like think back to like DraftKings when they launched over their first like 3 or 4 years. What was the main draw? It was they were pumping out television commercials about like Joe Schmo can win $1 million. And look back to like Poker Stars. What was their like initial like poll? It was the Sunday Million tournament, the massive multi-table tournament that draws the average consumer in. So it makes sense to me, like from I guess like a running the business mindset. It makes sense that if they saw that they were not filling these other contests, like obviously those, they have to put up the money for those because of national and jurisdictional law. It makes sense for them to cut those as opposed to messing with something that fills week in and week out, because they know that they have that draw with the Battle Royale. On a like, where does this go over the next like 3 to 5 years? It probably is just like, they need to probably hit the marketing pretty hard. Like there haven't been, they just had round C funding this year.
Yeah, I think it was Series B. I thought it was Series B, but
okay. Yeah. So they basically had their second large money grab fundraising event this year. That has probably gone into this push to get legalized in other states. From like building a business similar to this, there's a lot of stuff that goes down.
There's so much fucking legal red tape. Yeah, there's so much red tape state by state.
Some of the states are like, you submit a $200 check and you submit an application and it's approved. Some of them are, it literally costs $50,000 to apply and you don't even know if you're going to get approved. Wow. So like, whether that's probably where the bulk of like this funding went. I'm sure they have like plans to, I don't know if they're going to go public or what, but I'm like, the level of funding that they just acquired, obviously they have plans for the future. I don't know what those are. But like from a like, we have to sustain this before we build it type thing. I don't see anything wrong with what they're doing from a business perspective. They know they have something proven that has been working. They're just going to continue. That's going to be their marquee thing is the Battle Royale. They're probably, have they launched any like mid-season? They launched one after
they did the Resurrection. Yeah, they launched like the Resurrection
or something.
It overlaid.
Yeah, I don't think many people that are doing volume best ball are then looking to then lock up more of their money in quarterly or half season.
Yeah,
like that's the last thing. I mean, me and I know a lot of people that are in the Discords. They're like, that's the one thing. They're like, yeah, we don't need to lock up that much. We've already locked up how much. We've max entered Best Ball Mania. We did the others. Like the dailies are for those people so they can just continually turn a profit quickly. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, even look at the Battle Royale. I mean, they're raking in $33,500 in rake every week on that.
Every week.
Contest alone. So that I think is the biggest challenge for them as a business is like, obviously we're a best ball site. The primary focus of that is season long. We know that we have one window per season to take our rake. So like, how do we continue maximizing that? And then, or actually, dude, I didn't even think about this, but like, it makes so much sense that they just raised all this funding. Now they released the pick'em lines. Like that is the way for them to get around. Look at Prize Picks and sites like that. It is a way
to becoming a book. Yeah.
It's a way to get access to continuous cash flow, basically. And the way that they set it up is like they moved it from over under to higher lower.
Yeah.
And the reason they did that is because to avoid all this red tape, they're like, we're not taking bets. This is a fantasy platform. Like,
and they don't call them lines; they call them like it's like stats.
Yeah.
Going higher or lower, and it's not like a slip. It's called I forget what they actually call it.
Is it called pick'em? Is it just called?
Yeah, I think it's called pick'em slip. I think it is. I think the word slip is there.
No, they do not call it a slip. That's like they really avoid all of that vernacular. Like it's not over under, it's not a line, and it's not a slip. I forget what they call it, but
that way they fall into the jurisdiction of a fantasy football skill game, as opposed to being silly betting. But yeah, the red tape is everywhere, and for them to like launch that product, obviously they had to build basically something from the ground up, which is probably where a lot of that funding went to. So they're obviously, I don't know how to approach this
diplomatically.
Yeah, well,
here
without giving away
from a business standpoint.
From a business standpoint, like they have to, obviously they're cared about longevity, and they care about their ecosystem and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at the same time, this is such a new product that if they overextend themselves, which is what FanDuel basically did at the beginning, they overextended themselves, and then they were overlaying all these contests, and it stunted their growth. And during that time, DraftKings took off, and they're looking at the same thing. And obviously Levine and the guys who made Underdog, they've done this before. They did this with Draft.
They did it with Draft. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
And Draft, they sold Draft after only 3 years, I think. It was
and then they sold it to FanDuel, and FanDuel ran it into the ground and it disappeared.
So Underdog now is at where Draft was when it sold. If you think about it like that.
They're probably bigger. They're bigger.
Oh, of course.
So like growing that and sustaining that, I think it has to be like they have to take their time with it for sure.
Yeah. So this is where I'm kind of going with this thought, is what Chip's bringing up here. You need to reward your Hardo users, to incentivize your Hardo users to be your Hardo users every single day, regardless of contest, regardless of sport, regardless of whatever. You have to reward your Hardo users to keep going on. And I understand that from their mindset that's the BBM3 players, that's the whatever. It's not, because you need to fill these every week. Like how many weeks are we going to get a battle royale? 22, 23, something like that.
Every week there's football.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get, especially then in the playoffs too, you're gonna get it break it down into like slates, and you're gonna have like the main slate. You're gonna have like, once the main slate's locked, it's gonna be broken down into like the
sure. We don't have to go that far down the well.
There's gonna be quite a bit, like 30 plus weeks of it.
So we're gonna get.
Hey, pull up Chris Quigley's comment at 12:27.
12:27. Okay, hold on one second. Let me finish my thought here. I'll find it here.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so good. Okay, yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so we'll talk about that in 1 second. That's fucking fantastic. My point being here is if we have a battle royale with like 30, if we have a battle royale that's got like they're making $33,000 in rake per week on just that battle royale. That's not factoring in overlay of other contests. That's not factoring in NBA. That's not whatever. Let's just say you get 25 of those in a year, right? That's $800,000 in rake just from battle royales alone. That's basically the exact same amount of money they make in rake from the BBM.
Yeah.
Like BBM's about $1 million and something in rake, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's probably like almost $1 million on the nose in rake. I don't know. I do it right now. I don't remember
a little over $1 million.
It's just like a little over $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you reward your players that are doing volume of BBM3 magnitude, but they're doing it every fucking week, like think about that. Like you have to do 150 drafts in, 5 months to get rewarded, or whatever they deem a high valued reward player over the course of a summer. I have to do 150 in a week to max this contest, right? Now all of a sudden you're doing 150 every single week for 25 weeks. Like how many man hours in labor is that? Like that's like 3,700 drafts over the course of a season. 3,750 drafts over the course of the season to max enter the battle royale every single week over like a 4 or 5 month period, right? Like let's incentivize these people to do that over and over again. And what happens in poker is you see it for years where it's like, you think these people are winning money. They're not, right? Like there's a lot of like hardo regs that are, that were pros on sites, that were grinders and whatever. And they're what we call rakeback pros, where they're putting in hours and hours and hours, and they're literally just breaking even in the games. But their reason to play is they're getting some form of kickback, or they're getting some form like this. And it keeps the ecosystem alive because that money then gets distributed to other players on the site, and that keeps contests alive, right? So I think just to really dive into like Chip's comment and into where my thought process goes is, if we want to sustain all these contests long term and ensure they fill, we have to incentivize people to fill them other than just new acquisitions via deposit. Because if you think you're gonna find someone off the street right now who's gonna come in here and put in a 200 entries a week, that person probably doesn't exist. They already know that Underdog exists. You're not going to find super users who don't know that Underdog exists, right? So incentivize your super users to grind their asses off to then attract more people, right? Anyways, that's just ideas were flowing when we were talking about payout structures, when we were talking about this sort of thing, right?
You need the mailman who comes in off the street and wins $1 million.
From a narrative standpoint, perhaps like the guy that won last week, Owl, like they should be pumping that shit like crazy. He came off the street, Mark. Very first draft he'd ever done, won $5 draft. He turned it into 50K.
His only draft, too.
That was his only draft ever, and his only one that week, and his first one ever. That shit should be all over every marketing. Every marketing campaign ever. Get this guy to be the fucking Chris Moneymaker of your site, right? Like, yeah.
My dad would see those commercials and be like, "Wait, he did that on the app that you got me to download? I can do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, look, it happened." Like, and then,
perfect. Punch that narrative. Okay. So I'll go back to that comment from here. Actually, Paul's got a really good comment in there, because this is something that we said to them with the baseball contest, is the difference between 1,500 and 1,000 for first doesn't move the needle for anybody on whether they're going to sign out or not, sign up to play that contest. So just keep it flat. So the fact that you could put 25K up top for the $5 contest, does that change people's mindset to be like, oh, I can only win 25 off of $5? Oh, I can only win 50? It doesn't change anybody's mindset, right? So but it keeps the ecosystem going. It keeps people's accounts full, right?
One thing that's just been interesting that I've seen a lot. It's just like, I think, and like, I know it's just, I think it's just everyone, but like I've seen a lot in the Discords, like people then playing the games and then complaining about it afterwards, which is not complaining about, but just voicing it. It's like that. Those are the people I'm targeting that are like voicing their opinions about it. It's the people that literally come in and then complain about like, oh, well, this is dumb. Like I got 8th and I didn't get this. You know what I mean? I barely got anything. It's like, you knew what the payout structures were before entering. So there's the difference between we're not harping on, and in my opinion, I'm not harping on the people like us that come out here that want to change it and get it moving, all the incentives that we're talking about and how to improve it. But I mean, if you're coming in here and it's just in the Discords or anyone on Twitter, it's like, I did this and I only got this much money. It's like, well, look at the payout structure and know the game you're playing beforehand, because it doesn't. They have everything right there to read for you. You know what's going to happen.
Also, the piece that we don't have access to is the like underlying numbers, like their client retention numbers, their repeat user, their repeat deposit numbers, because like the Battle Royale is a $5. Like, how hard of a barrier of entry is it to like load $100 onto the app, run 20 drafts, and then like, oh, I just need to load up again for another $100. So
I think that's the majority of the player pool week over week.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole discussion of like the sustainability of the ecosystem is probably a moot point to them, because they have the numbers, they have the proven success that like they can fill this contest and they don't have to change it.
Yeah, because low dollar entry fee, high dollar prize point, redeposits is the business model. That is the 101 DraftKings model. It's the OG poker model. It's the OG sign up bonus and referral, and then get them in the door, and then whatever. Right. But what's the sustainability of that? I mean, is it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? I don't know. Right. Like, we have to explore avenues where people do this professionally for a living.
It could also be that Levine doesn't give a fuck and he's building a product for 5 years and then going to sell it again.
That's fair.
It could be that.
I mean, it could be exactly what it is, right? Get funding, sell, get out, so flip the thing again. I mean, yeah, from a business mindset, we have no idea, right? Yeah. I don't know. It's just fun to think through these things out loud, because like this is where I care, right? Like, I care about like this kind of shit. I love to draft. I love to talk strategy. I love to whatever, but I love to build shit. And
that's why we tried to build one of these.
Right. Yeah.
Go back to that comment.
Yeah, actually. So yeah, when Mark and I tried to build a site around the same time in which Underdog was coming out, this was part of our model, was 4-week contests, quarterly contests, where they were isolated best ball ones throughout the calendar year, but in 4-week windows instead of weekly windows. So it's just kind of funny to see it brought up or whatever. And Mark developed a really cool game structure around that, and scoring structure around that. I have not been keeping up with the comments. If anybody else has something to add in there or pull up or bring in, that's anyways, I don't know. It's kind of just an interesting, sidebar to talk about. And go to me. You look like you're teetering.
That sounds awful.
Badge only. Yeah,
it just sounds awful. I mean, I don't want to play against the best. I want to play against the Joe Schmo casuals. Everyone does. So I get like the adding more games like that, but I think a lot of people on here would say that just sounds awful.
Yeah,
just strictly go in there.
I think they could, in that same like line of thinking, they probably could do a qualifier with like a playoff contest at the end of the season or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like a live qualifier. And
you know what you need? You need satellites. You need satellite structure tournaments. You need 5-man, 10-man sit and goes for people playing for $5 that can then lead them into a contest where they could enter for 100 that's outside of their price point, that then can lead them to one where they're entering for 1,000. And then that 1,000 gets you, 100,000 and some notoriety and some fame, and you get your picture on a wall. In the same vein as, what Bob was saying here, he brought up the fact that custom profile pictures, I'm not in love with that idea. I would prefer like custom additives. Like, I won, a baseball contest, I get this. I won a battle royale, I get this. I get, not just the goat horns, the snapback. Like, let's get more creative with it. Let's go further and further. And, you can dunk on your friends when you have, 40 avatars down the line, or ranked up, just 2 experience badges. Like, not all badges are created equal, right? Like, let's keep ranking these things up.
It's funny that you brought up satellites, because that's also something that we tried to build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the satellite structure would be really good. But I mean, it just elongates the model of low dollar entry point to high reward payout. It elongates that model where you get to play intermittently throughout it, right? It's it's pretty cool. It's fun. Okay, we kind of.
Hey, I just want to say we are 43 mins in, and we should all just, if you haven't, drop that like, drop that sub for us all,
graphics, the new graphics.
But if everyone wants to do that, that would be swell. Would appreciate that.
Flex bombs.
Let's go. Like and subscribe.
You've been sitting on that for 45 minutes, just waiting.
I've just been giddy. I've been like, I get to click it now.
Oh shit. Yeah. Here. This is more like Bosox is bringing up, where you grind steps tournaments on Party Poker way back in the day, and that's exactly what they did, man. Because we flirted with the idea of even free rolls. Just get people on the site. You don't think there's people on the site who want to play that just don't have a little extra cash, but maybe they have the talent to then thrust themselves up? Get the Pete Overzed Deposit Kingdom free roll sponsored by the BadgeBros. 100 free entries just dispersed. You run a contest, and then that contest doesn't have to be worth $500 if they're $5 entries. That top prize could only be like, $100, but it's only in site credit. And then that player plays the site credit, right? Just introduce all these little these free contests to just get the ball rolling, because to see it go big, 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 and then go small again, big, 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 small again. It's low key disheartening, right? Like I want to help find solutions, right? I want to find solutions.
John, we should build a site, dude.
yeah.
Have you guys ever thought of building a site before? Yeah.
My wallet can't handle building another site.
Yeah, if you would have won the 50 dimes, you would have been like, oh, okay, here we go. No.
No, that wouldn't have moved the needle for building a site.
No.
Hey, actually, we'll build a site. Give us some fun in here. We'll build the sister site. We'll do the quarterly contests.
Yeah. Hook it up.
Oh shoot.
Jeremy,
all right,
I'm on the phone.
Yeah, let's dive back into the rankings of the contest. Should we just go hop into draft and see how it plays out?
Yes.
Let's rip one.
Yeah, Dinez is bored out of his tree. Eh? The guy's on the show and he's bored. Huge delay. He didn't even hear me.
What did you say? You guys like lag every like 10 minutes, and then I just have to like pretend like you weren't talking to me or hope that you weren't talking to me.
Nez is sitting there just like, AT&T
Wi-Fi is so shitty.
Oh, that was funny. No, you just had this like dead ass look on your face where you looked so bored, and I was just like, man, the guy's on the show and he's bored. We got to start ripping drafts.
Every now and then
itching,
it would just,
man.
Yeah, every now and then it would just freeze with you just smiling. You're just like,
yeah, dude, because like I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm hoping that this is like nothing that important, but and the thing that sucks is my Wi-Fi is right. Like I can damn near touch it. It's so close to my Mac, and it's still like I need a hard. I know, but then I've got the 2 USB-C ports are like, good luck, make use of these. And all the reviews for like I need a USB C hub that has like 10 different ports, one with an Ethernet, and I need like mad USB ports. And then all the ones are like, oh yeah, by the way, if you use this, like it might like fry your computer. Like, huh?
No, I use it. I have one plugged in right now. I've been having it for 2 years.
Paul's bringing up an interesting point here from his perspective that he's only playing the $25. That's how I feel about the NBA contest. The NBA contest is so time laden. It's so much effort to get ahead of news, fall behind news. And the only way to get leverage is to build a super team by getting ahead and behind news. So when I play NBA, I only play the $25 as well. I think just like valuing our time as drafters is really nice. And that's why I've really been pushing for a 3-max contest or a 9-max contest or something like that, where, for a lot of weeks there, the $100 entry was keeping, me break even by just playing my 9 entries in there as like my break even threshold, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those ones I really like to play. Especially the NBA, because in the $5 NBA, like you are up against some insanely stacked lineups with the way that these news stories have been breaking and like how late it happens and the leverage that you get depending on what is just like it's far above my tilt threshold, and it's just like not. It becomes it becomes like way more irritating than it is fun.
Well, it becomes a full-time job. It becomes a full-time job.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're leaning into so much variance in these NBAs.
Should we throw Numi a bone here?
He's washed.
All right. Jefferson at 5, I feel very comfortable with. Mark, who do you like out of the wide receiver position just in general?
It's probably a little too early to say, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Man, ATN's ADP being like all the way up here is wild. I've been gravitating a lot to Aaron Jones plus Amon-Ra St. Brown mini.
Yeah.
What do you guys like at this pick here? Nez, pick someone for me.
I've been going between like ETN and Waddle. I do think like ETN is probably like, we're going to look at him. It's going to be like a no-brainer.
Okay.
by the end of the week. Like just with the way that like the Raiders have looked so poor, and there's no competition for ETN, like absolutely none.
Has ETN ever even been in the top 30 of an ADP ever in one of these battle royales? And
that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, because the last game it was in London, I believe. When
he was first running back off the board in the London slate. And that was the only time that James Robinson wasn't on the slate. Yeah. And I'd venture to guess that was probably the only time he was above 12% owned all year.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, given the James Robinson news, I don't know if it makes sense as ADP, but I can understand the steam. But man, that's just maybe we jumped the shark a little bit.
I personally would have gone Jacobs there.
ETR has Jacobs ahead too.
I just think that his workload, like coming off the down week, he's slipping into the second round. Like,
I like that a lot. That's been someone I have two Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs just with no car, just on the same team, just because Adams has fell or Jacobs has fell after I taken one vice versa. And I'm like, if people are just playing the recency bias, they just got shut out. Now they're going to expect it again against the Jags. Like I'm just going to expect that they can get back on track.
Yeah, and that offense just runs so heavily through those two players that
Yeah, James, I largely agree with you there, man. When you're talking about this, I remember the 4-week advancing ones on draft, and the thing that happens with that's different than on these others or on the site right now is the liquidity of the player pool financially gets kicked back, right? You get a little payout, a little dividend after 4 weeks, and it goes back into the player pool because, if you get a little kickback in week 4 of a couple $100 for moving on, you're not withdrawing that. You're playing it that week, right? Like that's what you're doing. Like, it's not like that kickback was like 10,000 in week 4. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm withdrawing 9 and I'm still playing 1,000. If you keep the liquidity of the pool going with something like that, I think we'll see a lot of really cool, innovative structures like this coming forward because they're fully aware of what they're doing on the back end with this too. Any suggestions here, gentlemen? I don't love pairing Cook with whatever.
You guys go. What do you guys make the call?
Mark. So let's do. Okay, Mark.
Nez, go, somebody.
Evans or Dalvin Cook?
Okay,
pick one.
Let's go Evans. Set up a Brady stack just to give us options.
All in right now.
I heard the intro. I
am all in.
Have fun.
Thank you.
No, I think that makes sense.
Have fun.
He's so cheap
and not good.
Pitts, sure.
Yeah, this is I'm very convinced that Pitts is gonna rise very. Like this is a good price right here.
That's the first tight end off the board at 20.
But I think we might see
that in a while.
Yeah, I think we'll see him around like 15, 16, like settling in. Just whenever people start to look at the value over replacement and this matchup as well, I think it'll really elevate him. But we'll see. It could not. People still might be gun shy. I mean, I'm even still a little gun shy, but
yeah, this is the big draw. Like this is the big selling factor. That's why even for us, when we were talking with Underdog initially, it's like, we're probably not going to draw in new users to your platform because the people that are going to be watching us are going to be deep in the weeds. They're going to be the hardos. They're going to be the badged up people where their customer acquisition model right now is basically fully dependent upon, someone who has 100,000 followers on YouTube and they shill a promo code and they hope, less than 5% of their followers sign up with it, deposit one time, and they, enter a couple $3 contests with their buddies over and over again, right? And that's more valuable to them right now at their current state of growth than it is us, right? And, do I want that narrative to be flipped slightly? Yeah, probably. And I don't think it's selfish to consider that or consider the hardo players, but it's just thinking out loud and having this forum to discuss it together, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to hear if some people say like, I'm saving bankroll for battle royales next year.
Good point.
You might see like someone like if people get totally wiped in best ball, which is probably
They
going to happen
will.
to
They're
like
all going
all of us except for like three people or something like insane. However, the price pool is structured, we are probably going to be talking like, man, I might just hammer out like these next year because these are soft and they were really, really fun. And I just want to be able to continue to play these all year. Luckily, like we're in positions where we've like had success on the site and we haven't had to deposit in a minute, but like, you know, it definitely like is going to be a decision, I think, for a lot of people next year, but we'll see. We'll see. They might make changes to the best ball structure that kind of eases that reaction as well, because there's going to be a lot of disappointed people.
Herbert kind of just
Herbert. I was going to say, let's talk about Herbert real quick. He is going so depressed right now because nobody knows who his stacking partners are. Like that's pretty much it. Like we know that Mike Williams is out. Yeah, it's like it's Joshua Palmer and Keenan Allen, but like
get the swap.
Yeah.
And we got the run back.
Yeah.
It is like, I will say I'm really worried that Keenan Allen is not going to play. Not that we can't swap, but him not practicing after a bye.
Right.
That's bad.
That is red flag. If you want to talk red flags, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And Palmer was out last week too. So, I mean, it is setting up nice for that Everett call.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was a concussion. So we can say with some level of like confidence that he'll play.
Keenan's
out, like,
but he's also like,
for me, like going Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler. Obviously, you got to take Eckler super, super early. But like, if you can swing a Herbert, Eckler, Josh Palmer stack with your last pick, that's probably mad upside.
You guys want to run one more?
I really like
bounce, boys.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for chopping up with us as always, Mark.
Let's build a site.
Let's build a site.
Do our own. Do ourselves. Peace, dude.
Peace.
That is fun. Oh my goodness. Nyheim Hines.
Where'd he go?
Can Kareem Hunt get traded? I'm gonna log off this stream.
I would tell you, but
so much. I'm so mad right now. My entire bags are Dearness Johnson, and it's just a joke.
No one cares about your exposure.
Nobody cares about your exposure.
Buffalo Bills, by the way, Nyheim Hines to the
Buffalo
only
Bills. Team. Oh my god,
that
is a rip for James Cook. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, you know, Zach Moss, James Cook, like that's already a pretty crowded backfield. They did spend some draft capital on Cook. Very interesting. I mean, they're going all in to win this year, obviously. And it's kind of fun thought to have a pass catching guy who's good with the ball in space, who's also a good pass protector with Josh Allen. Like that's a very, very fun, but that's an interesting, you know, yeah. Here, Neil bringing it up in the chat. Would not have expected that. Yeah, likewise, man. I'm caught off guard with that, right?
Yeah, because it's like you would think that they would want more of like a between the tackles, like pure runner type off of what they already have, but that's interesting. That sucks. I got a
James
lot
Cook
of James Cook.
You, Buffalo.
I have a lot of James Cook.
Oh my gosh,
that's funny.
That is just worse.
Chip absolutely body bagging me in the chat for calling Hopkins a washed guy, but I'm still willing to draft Keenan Allen. That is fucking fantastic.
JT is freed, everybody. JT is freed.
Yeah, be interesting.
We'll
no more lead blocking in the goal line.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that.
So I know he injured his ankle again. But he's going in like the 30s again, right? Like,
yep, he's at ADP 33 right now.
So yeah, that's just a nod. That's gonna be
31 now. 31
against the Patriots though.
Click for me over and over again. While everyone's drooling over Tom Brady, I'll just be like, yeah, you guys go have him.
Nobody's drooling over Tom Brady. Nobody's drafting him other than me. It's just me.
I've seen him go undrafted over. Someone in the chat just said, I can't stop drafting Tom Brady. People in the BadgeBros in our channel have been talking about Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah.
So
what's his rank? I feel like it's not very high. Is it?
I mean, the positive touchdown regression is coming. Like he's
I think so too.
He was first or second in yardage and completions right now. And like that's like just kind of like bro science stats, but it's like, hey man, these guys are gonna find the end zone and they pass so goddamn much.
Cooper Kupp and a Tom Brady stack, I guess.
Damn straight.
Yeah,
do we want DeAndre Washkins or I'm about it.
Yeah,
I'm about it this week.
I think I'm
total on the slate.
I really like the idea of a Devontae Adams bounce back. You know, I really want because I want to be like I want to be able to have usable guys in the player pool. I really want to pin last week's awful performance in general on the Raiders just on Devontae Adams being sick. I really want that to be the case. I think it very well could end up being the issue is just like they were not prepared for how poor he played. And maybe the Saints just like low key just like had the formula for Las Vegas. I don't know. I don't know. But the Jags, we should probably be less scared than we are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, Kareem Hunt is still on the Browns after the trade line deadline has passed.
Hey, it could still roll in. There's about 15 minutes of kind of like that buffer zone. That buffer zone roll in where it's like, hey, we've got it submitted on our end. It just hasn't been publicized yet. There's always that little buffer window.
Is this like the MLB when a dude can be traded like August 30th still, type deal, like week 11 free Kareem Hunt?
Yeah. Man. And I don't know, to be honest, if they were going to trade him, would they have used him last night in that regard? Like he had his highest usage last night since week 3, I believe, or week 2, something like that. So there's two narratives to that. They were either showcasing him and then you go for a trade from there, right? And then, hey, look, he can still ball out. Look at all this usage. Or they were just kind of like, well, the price isn't there. We've had our talks. He's playing for us tonight. Because if you were really going to trade him, wouldn't he just be inactive last night? I don't know. Very interesting.
Yeah. I think that was a little bit of like foretelling. Like, hey, he's not. But also like the showing of Dearness, like what? Oh, like that was such a tease. That was such a tease. Dearness. And watching any running back that isn't like Najee Harris, just like, oh wow, he looks good. He looks good. Like because they're not Najee fucking Harris. Oh my god, it's insane. Good. Literally watching any other running back, I'm like, wow, like that guy can play. And then it's like, oh, it's because Najee Harris is the worst running back in the league by a country mile.
Josh Jacobs at 17 in an ATN plus Jacobs build with Diggs. That is going to age fantastically.
Washkins, right?
We kicked Washkins. So I would like the Walker, and then I would like the Evans or whatever run back off of Cup.
I like the Walker bounce back week.
And do you guys like the Evans run back off of Cup, or do you want to go a different direction here? We could go Kyler and we could go game stack.
I think maybe stack Kyler.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
That's a lot better. A Tom Brady stack.
Because like Evans might. No, that's a lot of picks to fall for a lot of wide receiver needy teams. But I was gonna say there's a chance he falls back. But if not, like isn't Godwin like the same bet right now?
Godwin or Lenny?
Yeah, give me all the Lenny.
I'm pretty heavy on Lenny, but I'm also pairing him as part of my double stacks. My Brady double stacks.
You're smart.
Include Lenny.
You're smart.
Yeah. We know I'm the smartest guy here, man. Like, you don't have to tell me, Newey.
Whoa. Tucker took offense to that, bud.
Oh, shit.
Tucker
no trades. So Chip bringing up no trades for Hunt or Cooks. The Cooks one is what we said yesterday when we were doing those Monday, Thursday contests. Is that $18 million for the next year is fully guaranteed at signing with a team. So like you're literally just giving him 18 mil and it's against the cap next year. It puts some teams in some very tough scenarios.
Yeah, it's not easy to trade him now. Like somebody had mentioned it, like because of the fact that you couldn't renegotiate, like there was like no chance he was getting moved.
The funny thing about that TJ Hawkinson trade is we have like $800K in cap space, and because Hawkinson's is such a backloaded contract, he's like a $500K cap hit.
Wow,
that's the reason why that Hawkinson, because like I'm sitting there like, dude, we don't have money. Like what do we like all of our money goes to Kirk, and then it's like I look at his contract and all that. That was interesting, but yeah, this is a good point here. About that Robert brings up. So it's in the per rules, but once a player is deemed traded, suspended, injured, anything with the out tag, they're then put on the out tag. So then anyone that's already drafted them gets the swaps. I'm probably butchering this. You guys can say it a lot better. You've touched on it a lot more. We've also touched on it in the Discord, but
Yeah, let's make this draft pick real quick, and then we kind of had a little debate about that when CMC got traded. I was of the mindset that I think too bad, too sad, so sad, whatever this expression
So
is.
Lenny for sure.
Yeah,
and then just
it's crazy to just be
tight
taking
end you
Lenny
wanna do.
there. It's crazy to be taking Lenny there over Jonathan Taylor. It's kind of like wild to just think about. There is no direct partner or whatever here. So I've been really gravitating to taking the upside of Waller and then getting the swap equity of Waller. Do you agree, Nez, as well?
Yeah, that's a really sharp take right now, just because of how ugly tight end is. Like, just get on that before we get good news.
Zach Moss is going back to the Colts.
Wow. Oh, interesting. Weird.
Okay. And a 6th rounder, so that can go to a 5th rounder, basically.
Yeah, Chip saying thanks for 6th round JT. It's crazy, man. 6th round JT is wild right now. It's the state of the game right now. And that trade, maybe we should have been more incentivized to think through it a little bit longer there and take him there. But hey, my monkey brain just goes straight to old fat Lenny as the run back off Cooper Kupp with one ankle. Yeah, let me have Cooper Kupp with one ankle and the fat running back. Yeah, let me have that combo instead of Jonathan Taylor.
42.5 game total.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. That's called collusion, my friend. That's funny.
I just have no idea what to do with Jonathan Taylor right now. Like,
yeah, me neither, man. It's just, doesn't it feel like Kyle Pitts?
Not producing.
Yeah, kind of. Doesn't it feel like Pitts? It feels like Pitts, no?
Except we know what Jonathan Taylor has done. Like the season he did last season wasn't just 1,000 yards and a 1 tutty type deal. Like, he legitimately is, you know what I mean? He was the consensus 101, unless you were going CMC. He was the consensus top 3 pick in best ball. So
not last year, but this year, yeah.
This year, correct? Yes.
Yeah. Well, why don't one of you guys run the helm on this one? We're always getting me to draft. Why don't one of you guys do one here? Run the driver's seat. I want to see somebody else's perspective. I want to see.
You want me to do it or you, Nez?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you guys want.
Yeah.
Let's just run something a little different.
John Boy, you want to touch on this?
Yeah, sure. So we had this debate when CMC got traded. I'm of the mindset that a traded player, you still drafted the same player, so it's kind of like too bad, so sad in my mind. And yes, you didn't draft that opportunity or that stack, but that's the variance associated with it. Underdog's rule is that player gets ruled out immediately, which is entirely fine and entirely justifiable. DraftKings does the same thing where they remove the player from the player pool. So it does make sense. The rule makes a lot of sense, and I'm entirely cool with that. I would kind of prefer the extreme variance of the other scenario, but the rule is he will be swapped, and if you draft from hence forward, he has an out tag, so you're screwed, kind of thing.
Yeah, I like it. That was like my suggestion before I knew the rules actually said that. I thought it made sense. This is a goal line stand, by the way. If anybody wants to hop in here, we just need one more person. And,
Look at you.
I got lucky. I'm just running pure. But yeah, we're just one away, and then this is going to be interesting because I haven't done any of these yet. All right, we're kicking off, and that is it just feels like it's going to get thin really fast. We're going to end up with an ugly ass team. I can already feel it.
It does just feel in general like, granted, we have more buys this week. We have more guys off the main slate, like that sort of stuff, right?
Did we just get in a goal line stand without I was inverted?
Incredible.
Wow. Paul,
incredible.
Paul probably maxed already.
Paul, that's weak. That is weak.
I did see the max to enter this is 33.
Okay.
So you multiply that by 25. You're looking at, in order to max, quick maths, $825.
Yep.
So that is for a top prize of $5K. So I don't know exactly like what is a normal like max enter to first place like ratio necessarily, but compared to 750 to max for the battle royale to get 50K, I mean that speaks obviously for itself. But
yeah, well, this is where it goes two ways, right? Because the ROI in the goal line stands will be better, although you are spending more time on them. Time is a factor in ROI, but like it's very interesting because we are kind of now making the inverse conversation of the conversation we just had, where it's like we don't necessarily want those top heavy structures, but then I also don't really want to have to put up $800 to win 5,000, right? You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's like, where's the middle ground? Where's the perfect structure?
How many think you're gonna put in here? Like just after looking at that, what would you kind of cap your
15?
15? Okay.
12, 15.
I
Something
was
like
gonna
that.
say I would keep it at the 16 or 12 just to make sure it's at that even. My OCD's like, I don't like that 15 number, John. I hate that. Don't like that.
You would hate how I set alarms. Like if Nikki's like, yo, we got to be up at like 7:00 tomorrow. Like I'll set my alarm for like
6:37.
Like 6:51. Like, 6:37.
Wait, if
like,
you have to be up or like,
well,
up
whatever.
and
I don't
going?
know. Who cares what the analogy is? Let's say 7:00.
that's-
The alarm's 7:00. I will never ever in my entire life set an alarm for 7:00. It'll be 7:01. It'll be 6:59. It'll be 7:03. It'll never be 7 on the nose.
God, dude, you send the FBI to his house right now. That is
What?
That is triggering. Oh my Lord. Like I do by 5. So wait, can you have your radio dial like just chilling at any number?
Oh, of course. Like I don't have a radio dial. It's not 1986, but
jeez. Okay. Can you have the number your radio's at? My God. All right, let's take it literal there.
So you're probably what AM radio station are you tuned into right now?
I mean, you are.
Numi only listens to AM radio because it's only full. Well, you don't even know what. Do you have AM radio up there?
Yeah, we do. Hey, funny thing is, when you were talking about that Underdog Fantasy thing, I had the radio show that I listen to all of the time is literally always, hey, mid-season's coming around. That's why I go to Underdog Fan. I'm just like, turn it off. Oh my God, best ball. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Don't
turn that off. That's awesome.
I mean, it's
That's
the dude
great.
talking. He's like, I can turn this into this. He's drafting a battle royale team. I'm like, that team is trash. Like he reads it off.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
I like Devontae or Jacobs, I guess.
Yeah, either
Devontae. Yeah, I think I like Devontae more because I don't know. Fucking forget everything I just said.
I know. It's like, are we buying a dip here necessarily on Devontae? Like, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah,
I think so. No, okay.
I
in the other drafts maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
it's tough to tell here.
Like these are really, really highly touted guys. It's just like taking.
Yeah.
Both.
No, 100%.
Take both.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We want to completely just game stack.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Onslaught him.
Yeah, Evan Ingram, I really like.
But it is your $25, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. But...
Okay.
What would you do here?
I would probably lean Jacobs or Dalvin Cook. Like I've been taking a lot of Dalvin Cook this week.
It's a Kirk week, bud.
Let's do this. Let's do this. This is if they're gonna be successful. Like they're both successful. It feels like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can, like if we were to look at Jacobs, like, 30, 27 point weeks, and then Adams, like, I mean, hey, here's my small sample. Like they both like helped your team on both weeks. They did well.
Yeah. No, I think they're a rare pairing where they're not necessarily negatively correlated because the concentration of that offense is so dense.
Right. Yeah. And it's probably not done a lot.
What if projections come out and they start getting steamed and people look at this and, whatever come out, ceiling, they see this, the total, and they're like, that's just a little high. Not steamed. I don't know how much more steamed you could get than 11 and 14, but still.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I thought last week there was a really obvious point of leverage, which was like all the shows were like made AJ Brown their flag plant. And I didn't watch like a lot of those shows, so I don't know if they touched on it, but like, for me, it was like, okay, the projections are so down on AJ Brown. Like that to me was just like immediately fade that. And like, if you're going to be down, like they were really down on AJ Brown, like really down last week. It was like, for me, that was a no question, like fade that shit.
Interesting.
So like anytime I see something like that, I think you kind of have to use like those, like the type of these projections, like almost as like leverage points, and understanding that if a guy is like, if there are obvious points of like leverage in the projections, that a guy that's lower in like a lot of people's ranks or is getting really juiced in projections, people are gonna like take advantage of that. Like ETR had AJ Brown at 40 according to Silas. Like that low, like
it wasn't that far by Sunday. It was midweek, but it wasn't that far by Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I liked him. I don't know. I liked him for the inverse reason. I played the shit out of him in DFS. I just was like, nobody's going to spend up to be contrarian in that spot. If they spend up, it's just going to be with Hurts. It's going to be so hard to pair the two. I think the thesis of the play was more of a DFS play where the price,
because in these
price
drafts,
detoured stuff. In these drafts, he was going in the top 10 every time. And I could understand full fading him there if every projection model has him in the 40s. Let everybody else take him in there, and I can't pair him with Hurts, kind of thing. Yeah.
Something fun that just kind of happened, popped up on my phone, is Sleeper. The Sleeper app just released daily drafts.
I did see that.
Literally just came across my notifications. I don't know anything about them. Probably not tournaments. They're probably your little tiny things, but
I think they're going to be sit and goes. But if they are tournaments, then
they have $1,000 head-to-heads. That is
buddy.
crazy.
I'm out. I'm an underdog guy through and through. I'm a man of the company. I'm a brand man.
Yeah, I don't. The thing that sucks is I would have to deposit over there, and I don't want to deposit.
They give you free. They give you free $5, and I will let everyone know that. And it's only because this is where I play my fantasy apps.
Here's what you do: build your bank account over there,
and
take it out, and then put it in Underdog.
Yeah, there you go. There's a fucking idea.
I've shamelessly done that elsewhere.
Yeah, but, good.
It's just
can you go back to the board for a second here, Nez, or back to the queue? I want to see, kind of see where we're at here.
So here's our QB options. We still have most of the top options still available. There goes DJ Moore. That sucks.
Yeah, it's funny. DJ Moore fits the same build as Pitts. Is like everybody didn't want to draft him, and all of a sudden, is this a role change? Is this the talent we were betting on?
The skill manifests itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Metcalf goes. It's a bummer.
I like Terry as a run back this week. I know that Numi mentioned it to us earlier there, so I don't want to steal his take, but I like Terry and seeing what Terry has done. I like seeing what Terry has done with Heineke. Like the fact that, he's locked onto him, right?
Dating back to like last year, even like he was.
Exactly.
I mean, now Samuel's there, so that does change things, but let's go.
Who's that running? Who's that running back there too?
My
Swift
boy
is interesting with all the practice reports coming out. I think we'll be off Singletary this week after the Hines news.
Yeah. I do wonder if this no badge bro will let Swift fall, because I really like Swift this week in these 12 mans.
Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go.
In the 12-man contest, I do, but let's take Terry first.
Sure.
Just because I am a fan of what's going on there with the QB change, and how well he's played, and the matchup with Minnesota. I'm into it, even though Minnesota's good team. But
2 days ago at 12:40, Nez tweeted, "Trade Claypool to Chicago."
That's awesome.
Savant. Just saying. I really wanted that for Fields, but we'll see if Fields can get connected with him. Watching him play in Pittsburgh, it was not fun. Like he just didn't seem like a baller at all. But so Swift might be out this week. Are we thinking Swift's going to be out, or is he just like, if they just like worry about his touches? Like
I think they're worried about his touches.
We've seen him put up 17%. Like
Jamal Williams revenge game.
I like Evan Ingram as a run back off of the stack that we've created.
Okay,
but that's me.
Yeah,
I would have done Kirk Cousins Johnny Munt stack there. No, just kidding.
I know. I heard the comments, Chris, by the way. Like, I understand. Like, they think that they push him too hard and Swift is a little bit made of glass, but like we've seen we've seen Swift on like 50% days where they were like, he's not getting a full workload, just FYI. And he like breaks off for like a 20-yard like touchdown. Like he still has that efficiency in his bag. And if he gets fudded all the way back to us, like that would be just unbelievable, but that's not happening.
The one thing that scared me last week was the goal line usage that we just saw instantly again. They just love Jamal at the goal line. They love Jamal at the goal line so much. And in half PPR, I do not think we've stated or we can state enough how important touchdowns are. Right. Just for the way points are scored. I know they're binary outcomes. They're 6 or 0. They're whatever. But like Jamal Williams taking 12 points off of DeAndre Swift's ceiling last week, it was just insufferable. And if they come out this week and have this coach speak as it is, he had 3 full practices last week, and then they still didn't use him as like an alpha back. You know what I mean? Like he had a bye week, 3 full practices, and then they come out and they don't even use him in his normal role. He was even in a more limited fashion of his normal role, right? So now they come out and say these comments. I'm kind of in lockstep with Chris here in the chat, where it's just kind of like, oh, it's so gross. I will take some shots in these 12-mans late
it's different
because
here.
He's so talented. But like, it's just, it feels so gross to click his name.
In the 6-mans, it's definitely like not advisable, just because it's hard to envision, like you said, a 20, like even a 20-point ceiling, and you're going to need even more than that if you're trying to take down the whole damn thing. So yeah, I totally understand that. I'm hoping that we get some positive comments later, but just given that they're a bad team, it's probably not likely that they push Swift more than they have to. And Jamal's been good. So can't take that away from him.
No, you cannot.
The other thing that would have kind of been fun in this build that would have been like pretty insane would just be to go all in and wait on. I like the Evans bring back, or I like the Evan Ingram bring back. I also kind of like, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, like something like that of the bring back magnitude, and then going super stack. Just because the contest is a bit smaller, like in terms of total number of entries, I think you can get away with some 3-man stacks and get Waller in this build as well as like the guy who's free going in the 6th round. Right. It's pretty thin. It's pretty insane. Just putting it out there.
I like the idea of like just going nuts on single games in these contests. Like I will always be an advocate for just like trying to just get in a game environment right, and in doing so, like immediately breaking even on the week. Like you might not ship it, but like you're definitely like you paid your entry fees just by getting that game right. And this is one where I don't think this is going to be a target for a lot of people going like you're looking at the Jags, who play just the ugliest football right now. And the Raiders, who didn't look like a professional football team last week.
Yeah. Everybody's soured on the Raiders.
Yeah. I think that this is a nice bounce
Mike
back.
McDaniels is a goof, or not. Josh McDaniels is a goof, the whole narrative around that. Yeah.
Look at this 12-man draft. My sweet Tom Brady shares just sitting there in the 5th round.
Right here, just looking at us in the face.
Oh, man. One thing I will say, I heard something and I did a little deep dive on it last week when I was contemplating the potential of having running some Derek Carr doubles once we got the Foster Moreau news. Derek Carr has not had a 30-point game on DraftKings in like 4 years.
Yeah.
It's fucked, man. Like it's actually crazy.
He should have such a higher ceiling.
Oh, I know. It doesn't make sense. Like, you have a really nice slot weapon in Renfro. You have alpha wide receiver. You have very good running back. You have an elite tight end. And it's just like, how has this never just come together for like 30 burger? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous.
Josh McDaniels, probably.
Well, he's only been there for
this
year.
Bit.
Yeah. That's true.
5 games, 6 games, whatever it is, 7 games now. Can't believe it's week 9, man. Yeah, that's
sad.
how bad Carr is. Yeah, hey, good comp here. Carr is the new Philip Rivers. I mean, Philip Rivers checked it down a shit ton back in the day.
So
Like
Carr has been doing it too.
Yeah, he's been renowned for that, like no arm strength, just dump it off. Yeah. I don't think Philip Rivers ever had a 30-point game. That's pretty good.
All right. If Brady doesn't have any
DeAndre
well,
Carter.
I know that was, I'll just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, you could run Cade Otton and go double tight end. It's pretty gross. Julio, kind of thin, but I mean, another week removed from the injury. I think you just take Derek Carr. I think you just take Derek Carr.
Really? I think I'd rather go Lawrence and hope that he rushes. I don't know.
Yep, sure. Go Lawrence.
Because we might still be able to go, like, if we just get really stupid.
And just go like all consolidated around that one game with 2 doubles.
Yeah, and go like Zay Jones' revenge game.
I don't hate it. I do not hate it.
The other what are our other like awesome like the other okay, Herbert goes, like I was gonna say like Khalil Herbert would be like interesting here, but instead like
scroll down a bit more on the left. Scroll down a bit more. Keep going.
Like Eno's interesting.
Eno's kind of fun. Yeah, James Conner in a good game environment with the Eno swap.
Oh, that would.
What if someone takes Eno?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the go for broke, and let's just go all in on.
This is a classic GPP DraftKings lineup from 5 years ago, where it's just like, let's consolidate around this game environment.
Right, exactly.
Let's crush on this side. Let's crush on, and like, is it in play? Is it live? Always. And you got some low pieces in Zay Jones. You're going to have a lot of pieces that aren't, their cumulative ownership is down a little bit. I can't fault it. No way. You're giving yourself votes.
Yeah, that's why I like doing these contests, because it's like you can correlate in these, and like it stands more of a chance than like over correlating in the $5 contests. And correlating is fun because correlating is easy, and it's easy to tell yourself like why it can hit even if it doesn't hit. Like it's just an easy way to draft. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with wanting easy decision points.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And I know it's 12-man versus 6-man, but 56,000 entries to 1,100. Like you don't need to get as much right with porting that DFS knowledge over.
Right, yeah, because it could even be like a game that does okay, but the fact that it's so unique is like, in this contest, it puts you in like a position to, no, buddy just took a 0.
The Millie Maker winner last week, I can't remember if it was the Millie Maker or the Spy. I think it was the Millie Maker. Had Trent Sherfield in it. He had 4 fucking points.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, it had Trent Sherfield in it. But what it does for you in that game stack, and what it did for that player to open up salary, to do whatever. But it was a full, like, I think it was a 5. I think it was like 5 people from that one game. Like, pretty wild. Do we want to run one hoops here?
Yeah, I got time for some hoops.
Yeah, let's. We're hoops guys.
Right. Let me. Sorry, now I got to do this again. Sorry, I got to stop sharing. Share again. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Who's running hoops? You running hoops?
I got it.
So funny.
You got it. I like it.
I got it.
Let's remember that Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, and Steve Nash have all been ruled out.
Yeah, here, pull up before you jump in, just pull up the slate in general, like just macro level thought here. Because I hoops guy like me, I gotta get a feel for the slate first. Gotta touch hardwood.
Is Irving I guess gonna play tonight? Like they're just like gonna let this dude just say what he says and do what he does without discipline? That's kind of fucked up. But
wait, what happened? I don't know.
He's anti-Semitic.
He posted a video on Twitter that was from like 2018. It's on YouTube. It's a movie.
And it's an Instagram story too, yeah.
And in said movie, they make allegations about Jewish people admitting to have worshipped the devil in this movie.
And he's resharing this on his platform.
Oh yeah, he's like posting it like this is like check this out, y'all. And yeah, and then there were people at the sideline of the game, like sitting courtside wearing like stop anti-Semitism or stop Jewish hate, something like that. And I guess somebody had overheard him make like a sarcastic, like, I appreciate you comment or something. Like he kind of just like was annoyed by them, was like the vibe of the person giving the firsthand encounter. So it's just like, how long are they going to let this guy play? Anyways, sorry. I was just like,
I don't like to get into shit like that.
Of course not.
That's just insane.
But like,
man.
yeah, just the times. Anyways, so Curry's out, you said.
Seth Curry. There was the joke because I said Seth Curry, Ben Simmons.
Joke with me, man.
Well, the joke was the last person, and none of you guys even got it.
We're not smart enough for this.
Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Steve Nash have all been ruled out.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hey,
funny.
That's a good Canadian guy right there.
All right,
man.
the slate is garbage. That's
just a good Canadian guy who's a terrible coach.
Let's rip.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Good soccer player.
They might get what's his name? The
Ime.
Boston. Yeah, Ime might get. That's hilarious.
It's pretty much like done. Like I'm pretty sure
he fits well with Kyrie, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, we need a distraction.
We need a bigger clown on the team.
Yeah.
So this Nets game kind of looks like the juiciest on the slate right now. No, Nets Bulls. That kind of feels.
Yep, 100%.
I
mean,
like are you just talking, straight off of like.
I don't know. Yeah, Shea looks like he's popping, obviously, but he's Shea.
No Giddy.
Yeah, no Giddy is huge for that.
Mm-hmm.
What does that open up? That opens up Trey Man or Lou
Trey
Dort?
Man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're just going off highest total games, obviously that one. And then Suns and T-Wolves kind of feels like a trap game to me, although it's not really. I don't know. Just my thinking.
Yeah, there's something about the Bulls that I'm always worried about.
Ruby's
like,
joke
Bulls
is
games.
getting loud. It's so good.
God damn. Well, yeah, it's worse when you have to repeat it 5 times because your co-hosts don't listen to anything you say. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, there's some crazy, like DeAndre Ayton out, Cole Anthony out again.
Jalen Williams
opens up Jalen Williams. That's funny. Yeah, it definitely does, but it doesn't. He's even playing.
Give me Shy. Damn it. He's going so
I know
high.
what's Jalen Williams broke his not broke, but like got his face lacerated. It's one with that EN.
Give me control back around here.
Come on, man.
For 2 seconds.
You're dealing with my bankroll, not John's, man.
All right, hoops guy, make the pick.
Who are we thinking? Right now I'm leaning Devin Booker.
D-Book. He's about to be like, yo, Russell and Towns all teamed up to make a cute little duo. Here's what I do in Phoenix.
Is Levine out again tonight?
Yeah, he's in.
I don't believe he's probable. So
he's probable now.
What about Paolo? I know he just had a down game, but like against the Thunder, like
trying to.
Bankero.
You want to show me the? Oh, we're up again. I would do Jimmy
Buckets.
That's what I would do, but you can do whatever.
Go with your heart,
I think that's a big pace up spot for the Heat.
Okay,
so it definitely helps.
I like that logic. I'll take that. I do have trouble drafting Jimmy. Like he's the guy that like
that's
I never, especially in the second, like seventh overall. I would almost never draft Jimmy Butler there, but I like the thought process of a pace up game.
Trying to get Vooch, DeRozan, Banchero.
Where beef stew?
There's chicken noodle soup on this slate. Oh my god!
Nope, off the slate.
Stew.
You only know. You
don't even know.
You were practicing.
Yeah, come on,
yesterday.
Mr. Tucker. Yeah, looking at Tucker. You don't even know.
He's been in a lot of my drafts this morning. He's been a lot of these. Yeah, I think it might be a friend of the show. Yeah.
Yeah,
But honestly, I was listening to that song on loop yesterday after I saw his name in the chat, and I'm like, I'm not a huge like rap guy. I've been to like a lot of rap shows and stuff like that, but I've been to concerts and whatnot, but I only listen to it when I'm working out, kind of.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
There you go. It is Carlos. That's why. Yeah, but it's like I only listen to like rap music when I'm like working out and stuff. And I just put that song on loop and went ham for an hour yesterday. I was like, yeah, this is a banger.
Yeah, dude, that song is infectious.
Yeah.
That's a beat, dude. And then all of a sudden you start swapping around to other people's beats. You start going to freestyles on YouTube. People just going over it. It's like,
okay. You went too far for me, Newman. You went too far.
Yeah,
I'm a good old boy.
I gotta take them one step at a time.
Your country,
I like my
right?
picking and grinning. I like my the classic rock. I like my stuff like that.
Okay.
See what Chad's doing. Chad's got a Curry Vooch start going with Wendell Carter.
I keep clicking back as if I'm controlling.
Russ is just like so underwhelming.
Yeah.
What about Bridges? I like that game environment. He puts up good defensive stats, and like they're quite well valued.
With Devin Book, is that like advisable?
Yeah.
I would do the guy up there, Poole, probably. With the back of Jimmy. If I were to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take that.
Poole.
And then I really like getting a Magic player. I'm surprised Bol is above. There you go. My boy's balling.
Yeah. Dude, it's tough. He took Carter. Damn. Oh, it's 4-game slate. Yeah, you do you here. They both look good. Bol
is. What about Lou Dort?
Franz.
Okay, you take your Magic
Franz.
guy. Lou Dort has to redeem the show at one point. He's got to get us back, and what better night to get us back than when
back-to-back games at 30 fantasy points.
Where the shit was that when
this was our dud.
I just like my pick 'em immediately.
Too much pressure.
Fox just hurt. Just sent you guys a pick 'em. Within 5 minutes, De'Aaron Fox limps off the court. I'm just like, close everything.
You owe me $200, man.
Put 200 on that. What?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Every slip that DJ Mitchell says that you said that anyone says, I put $200 on. You can't feel anything for less than 200.
I can't feel it.
I can feel the losses counting up when it's over and over again.
You need to take a moment of mindfulness after this stream. Just go sit outside. And just like I want you to name 5 things you can see, 5 things you can touch.
Yeah, touch grass, go touch grass, tuck that court,
Close your eyes and just feel the wind.
Yeah, couple big blinds, baby.
Bring Puck to the dog park without having to message us on Discord.
Yeah.
I'm such a Basley stan. And with Giddey out too, like it can be any of these like rotating just pawns on the Thunder, but I love Basley.
The way
is Aaron Wiggins related to Andrew Wiggins or no?
I think so. Thought so.
Is he?
I thought so.
I'm not
sure. No idea.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Probably not. Now that I'm saying it. No, I don't think
Keep it short and simple. No, they're not related to one another.
Yeah. I figured I would have heard about.
I don't know why
he's a Canadian guy.
I swear Andrew had a brother though. That was.
I think he does.
Basketball.
I think he does.
All right, chat. What are we thinking, chat?
Jalen Williams. We've heard Jalen Williams a couple times from Chip. Chip knows what's up.
It is Jalen Williams, boys. It's an easy game. You would never lie to me, Chip. All right.
You would never.
We're taking Jalen.
Actually, hey, Chip, tell us if you're... Yeah, I was thinking Trey Mann season 2.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too.
Trey Mann season? It's Darius Basley season. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, hey, it's your money. You go with your account. You go with your heart, man. I believe in you.
And they're all really close if you really think about it. Like Dort's going to get more minutes out of all of them, and it's going to be Williams and Mann kind of fighting for that. So one of them's going to have that game.
Paul,
let's keep sharing the pick'ems in the Discord. I share them. I like to repost the ones that DJ Mitchell sends. I don't send the ones. Maybe Numi will send some of the ones that he does. I don't send.
You guys don't want them.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Right, guys, come on.
Chad took Trey Man quicker than I've seen any other person draft a player in these pools.
Wow.
That was great.
Yeah, he gave him a gift, huh? Trey Man season.
I'm just doing what I can.
Yeah. What do you guys say? We run one MLB. It takes like 5 seconds and call it a night.
I'm gonna need somebody else to do that. I am maxing that, and I'm trying to avoid dupes.
I got it. You guys are gonna watch me. You're gonna watch my process. It's gonna be beautiful.
Let's see it.
All right, I'm about it. Actually, that brings up something in the chat. Chip was telling us he was going to Game 3 of that World Series. Hopefully, that means he's going tonight. That just means like it just got postponed and then gets pushed back. And hopefully, he didn't have any plans or anything like that got in the way of that.
Did he say that? Was he going to go?
Yep. Yeah, when we were doing our Discord hang there on Friday. Reminder, shout out, Discord hangs on Friday. Join the Discord, Deposit Kingdom, link in the description below. We're sharing picks, we're sharing rosters, we're sharing everything over there. Come hang out, and Pete will join us on Fridays when he's available, and we'll just hang out, open forum, draft some teams together, jam with one another, talk about life, talk about stuff that you guys are into, that we're into outside of this, outside of Underdog. And yeah,
it's basically a free-for-all. So, come in there and literally just like any questions, like literally you got anything you want to say, what are you doing this weekend? You got something fun going on? Like we'll jam about anything, man. So just come in there. It's a great time. Check out the other chats in there in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. It is a good time.
Love it.
Are you turning off the overlay?
Yeah, it's an eyesore in these drafts.
Sluggy.
Yeah.
All right, first pick.
Yeah,
are you doing anything other than Jordan?
No, I think you're a fool if you do. I mean, not really.
What about lefty?
Well, it's Jordan, dude. What did he do your boy Robbie, huh? We want to bring up lefty? That's a sore spot, right?
Yeah, don't bring that up. That hurts.
Wow.
Discord call ended with me shipping the dunk. Yeah, there you go. Damn straight. Yeah, Chip will be there.
Love it.
Oh, is there last night, like waiting for the rain to stop? Oh, that sucks.
Are you a Philly guy, Chip, or are you just like out there?
Yeah,
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right, yeah. So Jordan is the number one. This is different. I have like custom ranks set whenever I draft these right now.
Straight off of the. Oh, do we have lineups?
Yeah, we have Philly lineup. We do have a Philly lineup.
Who is it? Who we got here? Dude,
I'm gonna post it in a comment for everyone. But it's Schwarber, Hoskins, Real Muto, Harper, Castellanos, Bohm, Stott, Segura, Marsh. It's exactly what you would expect.
Let's go. What you'd expect versus a righty.
Let's go. What I was prepping, dude.
And then, so yeah,
it's not that hard.
Hey,
the Astros one is what's going to be like really interesting. If they put Mancini or Diaz there, or that dude Ryan Henson, whoever the hell that is. They had him in the lineup. Hensley,
David Hensley. Yeah. I was like Ryan Hensley.
I've never heard
this
of
is
that
where it's gonna get gross, boys, because I'm just doing my strat and I really don't care. So here we go. You ready? You ready for that?
What does that mean?
You like Nick Castellanos and Alec Bohm.
Dude,
okay.
I'm playing this so exploitative and so different from other people that I don't even care. I'm expecting it to be the worst strat ever, but I've told it with Nez, and I think I've told it with you.
You didn't pick Altuve there?
No, there's no point. I don't care. He can go. Altuve can not score as much as the other guys. And then
I've drafted 35 times. I have one Altuve in Jordan. One.
Yeah, I think in a room like this, you have to abandon that strategy, and you have to.
You've only have one.
Take what the room.
I have drafted 35 times. I have one Jordan and Altuve.
I already have some of that in like my 10 drafts.
Jordan at 3. Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's
I don't even have a lot of like 101s is the thing.
That's when you bring it back and you do that. It's just like these are my teams. These are my teams right now. Look at this. Look at these.
So like, what is your strategy?
I'm going flat on the top guys. Flat exposure. Like trying to get middling, whatever percent that ends up turning to be. And I'm going overweight.
Who's the flat guys?
The top batters in the lineups. Your Jordan, your Kyle Tuckers, your Bryce Harper, your Kyle Schwarber's, your Reese Hoskins, your
Why is
JT
Altuve
Realmuto.
not in that conversation?
Why is Altuve not in that convo?
He is in there. He is in there.
You didn't. Yeah, but like I'm just like confused.
I'm not getting. It's okay. Top guys in the lineup. Go 1 through 4 on any team. Those are the guys I'm trying to have flat exposure to in this contest. Then I'm trying to get wild and just have over the percentage, like in a Martin Maldonado, the Trey Mancini's, all these other people, Gene Segura, Bryson Stott, Alec Brome, Brandon Marsh, Nick Castellanos, Martin Maldonado, McCormick. Those guys I'm going to go heavy on because this is so top heavy that it's just going to be, it's so top heavy. There's so many people lineup that it's just going to be.
Astros is exactly. Astros is Hensley over Mancini. So Altuve, Pena,
and Diaz. Why though? Like
Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, Gurriel, Hensley's, McCormick, and Maldonado.
Yeah. So basically just my strat is just to simply go and get kind of flat exposure to the top guys in any lineup, and then just get wild. And it's specifically.
Yeah, I mean that's how you don't get duped. That's how you don't get duped.
That's all I'm playing for. And if anyone wants to come and say gross, I agree. If anyone wants to come and say that's probably not smart, I think it's up to whoever's drafting the teams and building the portfolio. And I mean, I'm not looking forward to sharing this with people. If I'm going to win it, I'm going to take the 2K and it's going to be mine. I'm not sharing this with 11 other people and then getting excited for a $200 thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. That's just my thought. I'm willing to eat whatever amount of lineups I enter it in and just.
Are you able to share how many Altuve Jordan teams you have?
Probably. I thought I had one.
I'm surprised.
Hold on one second.
Able to
Let's run it again. Let's run it again after
half of my drafts.
No, we don't have one. I thought I had one. It must have been the It was Harper Altuve that I was thinking. So yeah, I don't have any. But like that's fine with me. If everyone's chasing that, good on them. I won't have it. I just think like I'm perfectly fine with it. Yeah, I'll probably add one in there, but yeah, it's literally.
My point is that they don't come, like, at least in my 35 drafts sample, like they don't come often.
What is this?
So yeah, I think that was relative to the room. I don't
really even think that's super team. If we were to look in the it's just baseball is so much different from any of these other colluding or giving people super teams because of the fact that it's literally a random it's like an event-based game that the ball getting caught at the wall like Tucker did, like Schwarber hitting that foul ball, not counting. And then catching at the wall, like that's 14, whoever many base on there, 16 points gone to 0. It doesn't happen. Like any one of these things can happen. So I don't think that like it's the slate where you looked at me and said, that's pretty gross. Like, I don't know how you came about that. It's like, I won that. It was a 2-game slate, but I took that down drafting the gross players and saying the scenario where apparently everyone thinks that these guys are going to get like destroyed. Another thing that I had
okay, Numi, we get it. We understand. We understand that's how you don't get duped. We understand that baseball is an outcome-based game where this can occur. All Nez is suggesting is the combination of Altuve plus Jordan is so rare.
Yeah, I know.
Having
I've literally agreed
to that in your portfolio was more important than getting weird in that one isolated draft. That's all he's saying. And whatever. I mean, that's just is what it is.
Let's do another.
Yeah, let's run it again.
Because there might be a trend here. If we get more and more of these like badgeless rooms and like more of these people remembering that Altuve sucked last round, then like we might be like on to something where it's like, okay, Jordan and Altuve is now like available in half of these drafts. Whereas like if you're with badges, damn, 6.
Paul's maxed and he's only got 6 of them. Like that's how rare they are. That's all my point is.
I'll just say I don't think it matters, and I'll drop it at that.
Well, I mean, it does matter if they both homer in the first inning. Like, I mean, it's just it can matter. But like the point is getting exposure as widespread. If you're saying I want to be flat with your exposures, yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't still take Altuve there. You take Altuve with Alvarez, and then you just take the 2 random shot off Phillies that you took, but you just take them after because the 2 non-Badgers aren't going to take them.
Everyone's clowning Paul because he said Alvarado. Chat name changed to Alvarado. We're picking relievers. Damn, bro. So I guess it's just me. I think I've just been going a little too sharp with some of these lobbies. I mean, dude, I'm just giving you like my small sample. Like I'm not literally saying anything else other than my sample. I've only have one. So but seeing that it's more popular is that's disheartening for me.
In my mind, it was damn near the equivalent of passing on Allen plus Diggs. Like in terms of total ownership. It was like passing on Allen plus Diggs and then being like, yeah, well, they might not get all the touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
They might not.
I'm gonna wait then to draft more of these because I like that's something like I want Astros.
Yeah,
I'm trying something different myself, and that's Astros just blow the fuck up on Rangers Suarez.
McCormick with the opposite field home run off a lefty. Who says no?
Who's gonna say no to that? That's what's tough is like once I get to like 40 and 45, now I've got 20 drafts left. That's when I'm like, yeah, just because I know that I'm gonna max. I absolutely like need to get weird, and that's whenever I'm gonna take a look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I need some Hensley teams. So
no, that was my point, Carlos. Is I would never pass on it.
So Harper, Real Muto, getting Phillies early is nice because there's a lot more appealing Astros late because you need one player from each team. Getting a late Astro feels a lot better than like taking like Segura or Marsh, even though I do like Bohm, but I've got like a lot of Bohm mixed in. Like I've made him a priority. Yeah, I like Stott as well. I was really hoping we were gonna. So like. What's your thought here? You're looking at Kyle Tucker in the face in the third
as your one Astro.
I'm not. This is your portfolio. I'll just
do it to not get reamed.
It's not about not getting reamed. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Like the point isn't about getting reamed. It's about when you're saying you want flat exposure across an entire portfolio. Yeah, you're welcome to play that way, but the rarity of which that combinatorial ownership is that just to randomly click it away isn't thinking through the decision. Like that's all we're suggesting is like, let's talk about the decision, right? Like, because now if you just come and build this team, like where's your strategy gone? Right? So it's like, why not just do this last time too? If you were going to do this time. So like, who would you take here? Would you take Castellanos and get like those 3 sticks paired in the lineup?
That's what I'd do. Yeah. That was my,
I mean, like, do you
inclination lean here.
I'm trying to not dupe myself. Like if I get duped, like that's just like that sucks, but it is what it is. I think it's important to not dupe yourself in these personally, but I can understand somebody you want to talk about an exploitative strategy. If you think like last night, if Syndergaard starts, like I didn't care. I wanted so many Astros against Noah Syndergaard, and I wanted to be the guy that was like, that had like 6 dupes that was in first, you know what I'm saying? And like
duping yourself.
Yeah. And I'm chopping up with me and myself and I, because like I thought that was something that could have been exploited. Now with Ranger, like he's a good pitcher. So that stinks. I can't do that quite as much. Now I have to be more mindful. And so now I'm trying not to dupe myself, and mixing in these lower owned guys feels gross, but like you got to do it. And one way to do it is like what Numi's doing, which is like leaning into the fact that people like me don't want these guys. And so if you are going to, instead of me having them at like 15%, he's like, I want them at like 30%. Like that is viable. That is absolutely viable. And something that like in someone in Numi's position where it's like, it's not going to make or break his bankroll right now because he's killing it. Like that is what you should be doing. You should be doing that.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just it's risk tolerant strategies, but just all we're talking about is like in that isolated draft, in that isolated moment, it was
that was all.
Oh yeah, that was
all.
Interesting.
All right, so what are we running here? What did you just hop us into?
I don't know. I just clicked into a football draft.
I thought
I was clicking a baseball one, and then I just clicked, and it was football.
I've got one more. I've got one more draft in me, and then
right,
and then I'm gonna dip because I need to get in these MLB streets if we're getting
for
getting
sure.
all this
You got
Jordan
lineups and stuff out now too.
Yeah, so I'm at right now. Like I said, I am gonna max. I'm at 37, so I'm at the point now where like
is max 50.
Max is 66.
Weird. Cool.
It is a weird number. I don't know how they landed on that.
It's just a percentage of total entries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to be like a scaling. Like it's like a scale. Like if they're toward the number of entries. But let's see what this room does here. I'd like to build a sick team on stream and get a dub, but
hope Numi wins with that fucking team.
Right? That would just, like he's gonna come in here just like cold open Numi. Just let's bring in the boys. And then we're just here, dunce hats on, like
when we're just talking through range of outcomes.
It's like
I kind of like that.
It's Diggs or Jefferson for me. Like
it's
question.
Diggs or Jefferson.
I should probably.
We did Jefferson already, so I kind of want to just hit Diggs and see what happens here.
Yeah, I need to come around to Hopkins more, just because this is a really good spot for him, dude. But like, is the Seattle defense getting better? Why have I been hearing that like the defense is kind of like gelling a little bit more, and now they're not so much like that.
Didn't they play the Cardinals last like the week before? And then they just played the Giants, who decided to not forget how to play football for I guess a week, or they knew what they were we know what the Giants are, and I guess
marking these tweets I see.
But there's also a narrative about the rookies that they had like a really nice draft class, and now like the rookie corner coming together. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who
David Hensley for all the money, huh?
Who else they've played? Because
David freaking Hensley, you can't wait for him.
Yeah, I mean, like, but there's kind of like he might get pinch hit for sure. Like, Diaz and Mancini still on the bench.
I don't know. Just one thing I want to ask you guys. I don't know if it's viable. I haven't thought about it 1 second. Though, you know what I mean. So I'm interested in just your thoughts. And John, you could probably tell me if it's even feasible. Now I lost my whole train of thought of what I was even going to go into. Drafting a player that, like, specifically drafting a player. And I know it's tough because then once the lineups come out, and drafting a bench player and then getting him in your lineup and not getting that instant swap. Like, is that something that you think is feasible? Do you think that'd be something in the future to look at? Back end, I know it's a lot harder to do these things, but that's just something that I did earlier. You can pick here. But something that I thought about earlier in these single games, and I did it forgetting the whole swap thing. Like, I just totally forgot. And after I drafted like 5 teams,
who do you guys like here?
What about like a Higgins bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, he scored that nice touchdown. Burrow's already gone.
Oh, he is? Well, that sucks.
What would you do, Ramondre?
I
was thinking Ramondre and JT, like a mini.
Yeah, Ramondre Ramondre JT mini would have been a nice call there. We ran out of time.
That's viable, I think.
I suppose you could do. It's just the pass catchers it's tough to want to feel good about having a Patriots pass catcher. So then it'd kind of be only Ramondre, and then just fully,
Look at
bring
this
back
piss
JT.
Boy start. Absolute coward. Oh my God, it's so gross
stack,
that
man?
they were going. I don't know.
What about Pitts and then like
Mariota?
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
Pitts,
time to embrace
Mariota, Lenny, or Foreman.
Right, like we have like running back.
Yeah,
is deep once again. Even though I said that last year.
Or we just take one off JT, no run back. And just take JT if we can there.
That to me is like the fact that he's gonna I feel very strongly that he'll be there for us. And if not, like there's still it's deep. Like running backs deep again. Like this week, and even though it boned me last week when I said that, there's no Henry versus the Texans to bury me this time.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, fucking Henry, man.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. That's just like just if you don't study history, we're doomed to repeat it. And that was that's all he does. That's
a great call. Derrick Henry plays the Texans in week 16. He might be the dude you need to just thrust
get
you
to the finals.
into week 17 of the finals.
0% Derrick Henry exposure. Doesn't like that.
Oh my God.
No doubt. Eh?
He's my highest owned in the puppies and my lowest owned in the BBM.
Edge Ned's coming in this
guys. I think I'm just gonna do this. It's kind of wild that Herbert keeps falling like this. Maybe we don't know which pass catcher you need with him. We have a naked Herbert as a run back off of Kyle Pitts.
If anyone spreads the ball, it's Justin Herbert.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah. I mean,
if it's DeAndre Carter.
Yeah, he wasn't it like didn't he not a record, but wasn't it one point he was just like he just throwing to 8 different guys like every game, like you get the ball. It's like backup fullback, you get a touch. Here you go.
Yeah, right. Like it's probably
literally
a Havarth. What's that rookie's name? Hovarth.
Rookie fullback. Yeah.
It's his week.
Not Horvat. But no, yeah, that's hilarious because that's the one point like when we had Mike Williams, on our teams, it's like, yeah, win Mike Williams. Like he has those big blow up games and he has nothing because he's just peppering everyone on there, or it's Austin Eckler, dump down city.
Hovat, thank you, Carlos. Yeah, like look at these options here. Like these are 3. Man.
I think JT is that click, man.
I think JT's the click.
I think he's that. I think he's the Christian McCaffrey play from last week.
We need a blow up game from him. What's the highest? What's his highest score this week? This season?
I think it's like 18 or 16, something like that. 16. And he's found the end zone one time. Shows you the value of touchdowns in this format, though. In this scoring format,
it was week 1. It was week 1.
Did he go off?
No.
I'm trying to bring it up here. Or did he have a
week 1?
Yeah, 25.6 points,
PPR.
31 carries, one rushing tutty,
that's half. Yep.
161 yards, 7 targets, 4 receptions. It's all there for JT.
That was like, there's literally, I think there's 6 or 7 running backs who outscored that last week. Like, just think
last
about
week was
that.
just insane.
That's nuts.
You're right.
JT 25. It's like, JT 25. Like, what a big game. Like, that must have won somebody a slate.
Not last week we were talking about how running back was very heavy.
Mike Evans, baby.
A lot of running backs to go. Yes, there is in this, but it feels quite significantly like there's a big drop off from running back. You cut them in half almost, the usable running. Like last week, it was the question of are we doing another one?
I just clicked.
I'm not.
I just clicked.
Yeah, Nez is like, dude, this is what I need to be doing by myself. No, but I think what happened up is like last week we were talking about how do we take the running backs early? Do we take the late ones? Like we have all these options. Do we want to pigeonhole ourselves? I mean, you look at this week and it just looks not as deep. That's all I'll say. So that's just something to keep in mind.
It's interesting because it doesn't look as deep, but then we get Jonathan Taylor in the 6th.
Exactly. And then that's our that's my CMC calls. Is he's going to be the early in the week, we're like take him and he's going to
take him before he moves up. Yeah, especially after the Hines news. News.
Exactly.
That'll give him a bump.
Get all your JT, not all, but get a lot of your JT in now, and then slowly get that new combinatorial ownership. When he rises up there. But
Paul tempting us with a good time.
Death taxes, and Paul needing just a few more for a goal line stand.
I love it.
Just a couple.
All right.
And on that note,
all right. Chip, enjoy the World Series game. Paul, enjoy that goal line stand. Thank you so much, everybody, hanging out here. I think we hit another new record total today. I saw 42 watching at one time.
Ooh, let's go.
That's big leagues right there. Appreciate everyone hanging out, being here. We will be jamming in the Discord. Numi will be dunking all over us when Jose Altuve goes 0 for 4 and he beats the shit out of us with Bryson Stott or whoever the shit he picks. and good luck tonight to everybody playing NBA, playing MLB. Should be a lot of fun. Keep filling those battle royales. Keep filling those goal line stands so we can get after it. Let's hashtag make those contests bigger going forward. Might have a couple special guests.
I got something in the works too for the fans, the loyal fans. Maybe you could say in the future, in a week and max 2 weeks, a little giveaway.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
Okay.
You said we're not for the people.
Hey, we're for the people around here on the People's Platform. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate all these kind words. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And we'll be back tomorrow. I think we'll be at the normal time because Mark won't be with us unless we have a very special guest who cannot make that time slot. So we'll keep everybody posted in the Discord on when we'll be back. Other than that, everybody, good luck tonight. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.